काञ्चनमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। तो आज क्योंकि टाइम कम है तो हम एक वर्ड्स लर्न कर लेते हैं। जो मंगलाचरण के वर्सेस हैं तो आप में से किस किस को लर्न है या रिसाइट कर पाते हैं तो वो हैंड रेज करके या कमेंट सेक्शन में बता सकते हैं। ओके, हेती माता जी को लर्न है या वो रिसाइट कर पाता है आप बता सकते हैं या तो फिर हम डायरेक्ट रीडिंग कंटिन्यू करेंगे 10 मिनट्स के लिए। ओ वाह ग्रेट। बाकी माता जी रिप्लाई कर सकते हैं। अच्छा ठीक है, तो फिर हम रीडिंग स्टार्ट करते हैं। ओके, तो आज हम नया टॉपिक स्टार्ट करेंगे द वे ऑफ योगा। तो हेतु माता जी यू कैन स्टार्ट रीडिंग।
Hare Krishna. We generally regard yoga merely as a form of physical exercise, but in the following lecture, delivered in February 1969 in Los Angeles, Srila Prabhupada reveals the inner meaning and nature of yoga as taught and practiced in India for centuries. He explains how expert yogis can, by practicing austerities, travel to any planet in the universe. But he concludes, at the time of death, the most successful yogis transfer themselves to the spiritual world and enter into the Krishna Loka or the Krishna planet and enjoy with Krishna. सर्वद्वारेणि संयम मनोहृदि निरुद्ध्य च मूर्धनि आध्यात्मन prana अस्थितो योग धारणम. The yogic situation is that of detachment from all sensual engagements, closing all the doors of the senses and fixing the mind on the heart and the life at the top of the head. One established himself in yoga. Bhagavad Gita 8.12. There are different kinds of transcendentalists or yogis, the Jnana yogi, the Dhyana yogi, and the Bhakti yogi. All of them are eligible to be transferred to the spiritual world because the yoga system is meant for re-establishing our link with the Supreme Lord. Actually, we are eternally connected with the Supreme Lord, but somehow or other, we are now entangled in material contamination. So the process is that we have to go back again. That linking process is called yoga.
Okay, next Ruchi माता जी। ओके, नेक्स्ट भारती माता जी।
The actual meaning of the word yoga is plus now. At the present moment, you are minus God. minus the supreme. But when he make ourselves plus or connected with God, then our human form of life is perfect. By the time that comes, we must reach that stage of perfection. As long as we are alive, we have to practice how to approach that point of perfection. And at the time of death, when we give up this material body, the perfection must be realized prayana kale. Manasa kalena prayana kale means at the time of death. For instance, a student may prepare 2 years, 3 years, or 4 years in his college education, and the final test is his examination. If he passes the examination, then he gets this degree. Similarly, if we prepare for the examination of death and we pass the examination, that we are transferred to the spiritual world. All that we have learned in this life is examined at the time of death. So here in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is describing what we should do at the point of death when we are giving up this present body. For the Dhyan yogis, the prescription is Sarvadvarani Samyamya Manohardi Nirudhya cha. Nirudhya. In the technical language of yoga system, this process is called Pratyahara means just the opposite. For example, suppose my eyes are engaged in seeing worldly beauty. So I would have to refrain from enjoying that external beauty and instead engage in meditation to see the beauty within. This is called Pratyahara. Similarly, I would have to hear Omkara, the sound representation of the Lord from within, and in the same way all the senses must be withdrawn from their external activities and engaged in meditation on God. That is the perfection of dhyana yoga, to concentrate the mind or Vishnu or God. The mind is very agitating, so it has to be fixed on the heart. Manohardi nirudhya. Then we have to transfer the life air the top of head. Murdhana अभ्यात्मना pranam asthito yoga dharanam. That is perfection of yoga.
Next, Gayatri Mataji.
A perfect Dhyan Yoga can choose his own destination after that. There are immutable material planets, and beyond the material planets, it's the spiritual world. Yogis have information about all the different planets. Where did they get this information? From the Vedic scriptures. For instance, before I came to your country, I got the description of your country from books. Similarly, we can get the descriptions of higher planets and the spiritual world from the Srimad Bhagavatam. The yogi knows everything and he can transfer himself to any planet he likes. He does not require the help of any spaceship. The scientists have been trying to reach other planets for so many years with their spaceships, and they will go on trying for 100 or 1000 years, but they will never be successful. Rest. This is not the process to reach another planet. Maybe by scientific process 1 man or 2 men can succeed, but that is not the general process. The general process is that if you want to transfer yourself to any better planet, then you have to practice this Dhyan Yoga system or the Janana system, but not the Bhakti system. The Bhakti system is not meant for attaining any material planet. Those who render devotional service to Krishna, the Supreme Lord, are not interested in any planet for this material world. Why? Because they know that regardless of what planet you elevate yourself to, the four principles of material instinct which still be there. What are those principles? Birth, death, disease, and old age. You will find this on any planet you go to. On some higher planets, your duration of life may be very, very much longer than on this earth, but still death is there. Material life means birth, death, disease, and old age. The spiritual life means relief from these birth regions. No more birth, no more death, no more ignorance, and no more mercy. So, those who are intelligent do not try to elevate themselves to any planet for this material world.
Next, Manju Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Now the scientists are trying to reach the moon planet, but it is very difficult for them to gain entrance because they do not have a suitable body. But if we enter into the higher planets by this yoga system, then we will get a body suitable for those planets. For every planet, there is a suitable body. Otherwise, you cannot enter. For example, although we cannot live in the water with this body, we can live in the water with oxygen tanks for 15 or 16 hours. But the fish, the aquatic animals, have a suitable body. They are living their whole life underwater. And of course, if we take the fish out of the water and put them on the land, they will die instantly. So you see, even on this planet, you have to have a suitable kind of body to live in a particular place. Similarly, if you want to enter into another planet, you have to prepare yourself by getting a particular type of body. In the higher planets, our year is equal to one day and night, and you live for 10,000s of such years. That is the description in the Vedic literature. So you get a very long duration of life, undoubtedly. But then there is death. After 10,000 years or 20,000 years or millions of years, it does not matter. It is all counted, and death is there. But you, the spirit soul, are not subject to death. That is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Na hanyate hanyamani sharire. BG 2.20. You are an eternal spirit soul.
Next, Asta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Why should you subject yourself to this birth and death? To ask this question as a sign of real intelligence, those persons who are in Krishna consciousness are very intelligent. They aren't interested in promotion to any planet where there is death, regardless of how long you live. They want a spiritual body just like God's. God's body is Sachidanand Vigraha. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Sachidanand Vigraha. BS 5.1. Sat means eternal. Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of pleasure. If we leave this body and transfer ourselves to the spiritual world to live with Krishna himself, then we get a body similar to his Sachidanand, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss. Those who are trying to be Krishna conscious have a different aim of life than those who are trying to promote themselves to any of the better planets in this material world. You are a very minute spiritual particle within this body, and you are being sustained in the prana vayu or life airs. The Dhyana Yoga system, the Sat Chakra system, aims to get the soul from its position and the heart to the topmost part of the head. And the perfection is when you can place yourself at the top of the head, and by rupturing this topmost part of the head, transfer yourself into the higher planets as you like. Mataji, scroll. A Dhyana yogi can transfer into any planet wherever he likes. So if you like, just like you are inquisitive about the moon planet, become a yogi and you go there. A yogi thinks, oh, let me see what the moon planet is like. Then I shall transfer myself to higher planets. It is the same with ordinary travelers. They come to New York, then go to California, then go to Canada. Similarly, you can transfer yourself to so many planets by this yoga system. But anywhere you go, the same systems, visa systems, and custom systems are there. So a Krishna conscious person is not interested in these temporary planets. Life there may be of a long duration, but he is not interested.
Next, Bhavna Mataji.
to Pranab. For the yogi, this is a process of giving up this body. Om iti ekaksharam brahma vihararan mam anushramanam ya prayati tyajan deham sayati pramam gatam. At the time of death, Om, he can pronounce Om, the Omkara. Omkara is the conscious form of transcendental sound vibration. Om iti ekaksharam brahma viharan. If he vibrate this sound Omkar and at the same time remember Krishna or Vishnu, Mam Anusaramanam, he can enter into the spiritual kingdom. The whole yoga system is meant for concentrating the mind on Vishnu. But the impersonalist imagine that this Omkara is the form of Vishnu or the Lord. Those who are personalists who do not imagine, they see the actual form of Supreme Lord. Anyway, whether you concentrate your mind by imagining or you see factually, you have to fix your mind on the Vishnu form. Here, Mam means unto the Supreme Lord Vishnu, Yat Prayati Tvajan Deham. Anyone who quits his body remembering Vishnu, Sayati Paramam Gatam, he enters into the spiritual kingdom. Those who are actual yogis do not desire to enter any other planet in the material world because they know that there is temporary. That is intelligence. Those who are satisfied with temporary happiness, temporary life, and temporary facilities are not intelligent. According to the Bhagavad Gita, antavattu phalam tesham tad bhavte alpha medhasham. I am permanent, I am eternal. Who wants non permanent existence? Nobody wants it. Suppose you are living in an apartment and the landlord asks you to vacate. You are sorry, but you will not be sorry if you go to a better apartment. So, this is our nature. Wherever we live, because we are permanent, we want a permanent residence. That is our inclination. We don't wish to die. Why? Because we are permanent. We don't want to be diseased. These are all artificial external things. The disease, death, birth, miseries, they are external things. Just like sometimes you are attacked with fever, you are not meant for suffering from fever, but sometimes it comes upon you. So you have to take precaution to get out of it. Similarly, these four kinds of external afflictions, birth, that disease, and old age are due to this material body. If we can get out of this material body, we can get out of these afflictions. So, for the yogis who is an impersonalist, the recommended process is vibrating this transcendental sound Om while leaving this body. Anyone who is able to quit this material body while uttering the transcendental sound Om will, with full consciousness of the Supreme Lord, is sure to be transferred to the spiritual world.
Hare Krishna. But those who are not personalists cannot enter into the spiritual planets. They remain outside. Um, no, Mataji, there was no disturbance. Just like the sunshine and the sun planet, the sunshine is not different from the sun disk, but still the sunshine is not the sun disk. Similarly, those impersonalists who are transferred to the spiritual world remain in the effulgence of the Supreme Lord, which is called Brahma Jyoti. Those who are not personalists are placed into the Brahma Jyoti as one of the minute particles. We are minute particles, spiritual sparks, and the Brahma Jyoti is full of spiritual sparks. So you become one of the spiritual sparks. That is, you merge into the spiritual existence. You keep your individuality, but because you don't want any personal form, you are held here in the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Just as the sunshine is small molecules, shining molecules, those who are scientists know. Similarly, we are tiny particles smaller than an atom. Our magnitude is 1/10,000 of the tip of a hair. So that small particle remains in the Brahma Jyoti. The difficulty is that as a living entity, I want enjoyment because I am not simply existing. I'm not only simply existing, I have got bliss. I'm composed of three spiritual qualities. Sat Chit Anand. I'm eternal and I'm full of knowledge and I'm full of bliss. Those who enter into the impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord can remain eternally with full knowledge that they are now merged with Brahma or the Brahma Jyoti, but they cannot have eternal bliss because that part is wanting. If you are confined in a room, you may read a book or think some thought, but still you cannot remain alone all the time for all the years of your life. That is not possible. You'll find some association, some recreation. That is our nature. Similarly, if we merge into impersonal effulgence of the Supreme Lord, then there is a chance of falling down again into the material world. ठीक है, तो हम कल यहाँ से रीड करेंगे और कल फिर इसको डिस्कस भी कर लेंगे। किसी का कोई प्रश्न है तो वो पूछ सकते हैं।
हरे कृष्ण।